Did the Patriots have that kind of stigma around the organization back then? I mean, because they were just kind of getting started a little bit when you were coming out. I mean,
they were dynasty at that point.
2009?
This was 09. So this was
09?
a year they had the undefeated season where they went and lost to the Giants in 07, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
And then 08, and that was the year that Brady got hurt. And then 09. So this was long hair Brady, fresh off the ACL. But they were, it's still the expectations were the same.
So was it like what people say? Like, was it like this just kind of, you got this drill sergeant and everybody else, like, it's all work, no play, no fun, no nothing, just straight work?
So, I mean, from what I came from at UConn, and as you know, in college programs, those are probably the toughest most militant programs. And you need that for 18 to 22-year-old kids, in my opinion. So Randy Elsa ran a tight ship. And I was used to kind of being a captain, kind of being in that with him, like as a leadership. So going into it, I wasn't tripping. It was as a pro, you get more lenience. They're not going to be chasing you down for missing the class or missing the meeting. Like, you're just going to get fined $10,000 or $15,000. So in Belichick, if you come in 2 minutes late, it could be a blizzard outside, which really happened my rookie year. He's sending your ass home. So it was a tight ship, but I was used to it. And coming in, being my first experience in NFL, you think like, this is how things are in the NFL. Intense practices, low lights, whether you win, whether you lose. Tom Brady being called out and being held to the same standard. Vince Wilfork, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, all these guys being held to the same standard as anybody else. And even as a college athlete, it would be times where I tell my coach, like, Coach, you can call me out in meetings, because Coach, you get to my position coach or somebody be like, I don't want to put you on the spot, like, oh, Darius messed up. Like, nah, call me out in meetings so they see, like, I take correction and coaching as well. So that's important, especially with the dynamic and the pro level, because it changes, because Brady getting paid 20 plus a year, the coach is getting paid whatever. Those dynamics are different in these NFL locker rooms. So the ship that Belichick ran, definitely a tight militant ship, but coming in as a young guy, I thought that's just how it was. Yeah. It wasn't until I went to Carolina doing Rivera's rookie year as a head coach, and then I went to Indianapolis with Chuck Pagano's first tenure as a head coach, and then you see the difference on how things are ran. So it's definitely militant, and he crossed every T, dots every I. He makes sure everybody in that building is on point at all times, and I think that's very, very important. But it results in winning. So you deal with the shitty parts throughout the week, but jogging out that tunnel on Sunday, you have every expectation to win. Like, you feel like you're going to win every game unless something just goes completely awry.
And ultimately, that's when people say the Patriot way, all of that kind of goes into that whole thing.
That's it. It's doing your job, and it's 4 things on the door coming in, 4 things on the door going out, and then it's different little sayings and quotes around the building that your first couple of weeks in that building, Belichick he gonna test you on it. Hey, coming into the building, what's that first quote on the wall? Before you walk into the team meeting room, and you're like, shit, I don't know. He calling on anybody, so you got to. So after that first meet, you got to be on point. Hey, what college did Matt Light go to? I'm like, I don't know what school Matt Light went to. Like, oh, he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's your teammate. Get to know your teammates. So it was things like little things that didn't really make sense at first, but then in the grand scheme of things, you understand how much those little things matter. Knowing exactly the width between the hash marks, knowing exactly the width from the distance from the hash mark to the top of the numbers. How do we identify formations? Like, it was no guesswork in those type of things because everybody was speaking the same language. You had to know the difference between a trip set and a tray set. And a lot of places, you don't have to. Like, a trip set, that means it's still a pro set. It's an X and a Z on opposite sides, and it's trips. Tray, it's a slot set. All 3 of those on the same side. So when you in mid-game going over formation, you come to the sideline and tell your coach, hey, they weren't tray when they're doing this, boom, boom. You can have it just makes that conversation so much smoother. And that's why they are and have been able to sustain the type of success that they have.
Man, that's great. So why was your stint there so short? Because typically for a guy that's a 2nd round pick, you think you get like entirety of your rookie contract,
For
but
sure.
your time there was kind of cut short. What kind of went into that?
Yeah, so part of it, so I came when I came there, it was kind of one of those funky times for the Patriots. They had they drafted me. Then after they drafted me, they traded Ellis Hobbs, and then they signed Sean Springs, who at that time was like a 13-year vet, I believe.
Yep.
Lee Bodden, who was also like a 7-8-year vet, and then we had Will Hite, we had T. Wheatley, we had some other guys in the locker room as well, but it wasn't kind of like that fully, like our rooms wasn't like fully ingrained in the Patriot way, right? You go in that room when it's Devin McCourty, it's Patrick Chung, it's other guys who've been in that system, and they run it a certain way. Everybody comes in there and they buy in. I wasn't fully bought in, honestly, because I came in my rookie year, and that rookie year is just so fast. I bought my rookie year. But, you got these other guys who we had a first-year DB coach, and Josh Boyer, who's now the D coordinator in Miami. B. Flo is the assistant DB coach, who's now the head coach in Miami for the Dolphins. And you got these older guys who've been in the league, and they've been around the block 10, 13 times. So it's like, and they're not on the same page with the coaches. So it's kind of like, man, they like, man, hey, D-Butt, hey, you nice, man. You're doing this. But Belichick, he want things done a certain way. And I kind of got, I guess, caught in between, trying to do things my way. And then as a player, especially the DB, once you get beat trying to do something that somebody else is telling you to do, it's like, damn, like, I got beat, but I could have, if I would have played it like how I wanted to play it, I could have did that. So I kind of got caught into that and wasn't fully bought in, honestly. And then that second year, I struggled early, and then they benched me, and then I honestly had struggles with my confidence at that point, which I had never had in my athletic career up until that point, like ever. And that's one of the things that I talk about now. I'm a consultant as well, so I consult some of these players in the league, and a lot of them, it's not until the league that you have to deal with failure. You know what I mean? Because these guys getting drafted first, second, third round, like these guys have probably been that guy since probably high school, little league maybe. So you never really dealt. Maybe you have a bad game, maybe a bad play, maybe a bad quarter, but you're not stringing together bad practices, bad games. Okay, now how do I deal with this? So it was some of that, losing confidence. And then got benched, had to deal with that as a high second round pick who's kind of local. I'm coming from Connecticut, so a lot of these people already kind of know. So it was a lot of things at play, and then got cut after my second year. Got cut again after my Carolina year. Now 1 year in Carolina, which we kind of struggled, and at that point they're going to have to make changes regardless of how you play individually. I had some crazy things going on off the field with my family. But then that third stint in Indy, that's when I kind of just had to buckle down and fully buy in, play at a different position, learn, be a better teammate, study harder, create more confidence, and just be a better leader. So everybody kind of goes through the same path, but that stint in New England, once you get in that doghouse, man, it's hard to get out.